to Debbie Kershaw Knits. I'm Debbie and this channel is dedicated to the love of hand knitting. So today I'm going to look back at the origins of my knitting journey in the 1980s. I was a teenager in the 1980s and I actually learned to knit age about 8, 9. But I was really only doing squares and sewing them up into blankets, so nothing, major at all, maybe some dolly's clothes, that sort of thing. But then the 1980s came along and it was a bit of an explosion. It was big, it was bold, in your face, there was lots of colour, and knitwear design became something else for me anyway. I loved the knitwear design, so I started getting my needles out again. Now in those days, in the 1980s, there wasn't any internet. There wasn't really YouTube that you could learn from. So you had to go to a book. And there were some wonderful books. Now, it was much more trial and error. So of course it is much better these days with the wonderful tutorials that people put online for us. But the books were very precious to me. I've still got some of those books, and that's what I'd like to have a flick through a bit later on and show you. So you can see the real designs from the 1980s. It wasn't all neon, which you will see. So one thing to let you know about the 1980s and before that time is that the sizing was quite minimal. So if you got 2 sizes, you were kind of lucky. If you got 3, if you got small, medium and large, you were doing really well. So I think maybe silhouettes were smaller in those days, and they only knit for like a 34 chest or a 36-inch chest, and not everybody was that. So it was quite a lot of work for knitters to size things up for themselves, whereas now it's inclusive, which is wonderful. But at that time, that's how it was. That's how knitting was before the 80s and during the 80s. But we got through it and we still produced some wonderful things. Now for myself, because I was a teenager and I didn't have too much funds, I couldn't really buy any really nice wool. So I was knitting in acrylic, I was knitting in the cheaper yarns. So sadly, nothing has really survived. It doesn't really wear well, the man-made fibres. They're better now, they're much better now, but even then, they don't really wear well. And a lot has happened since then as well. I've moved around a lot. I've even moved out of the country for a little while. And unfortunately, those things haven't survived. But I do have photos of the original patterns. We also didn't have smartphones in those days. We didn't have Instagram in those days. So the recording of it, sadly, didn't get done either. But I do remember them, and I remember them very fondly. Okay, so just in a moment, I'm going to flick through 3 of my favourite designers' books and show you what was going on at that time. But just before we do, this is one of the patterns that I knit, and I hope you can see that nicely. It is Serdar. It's out of print now, but as you can see, it's the willow pattern. That was kind of one of the very first things I did knit. It's an Intarsia pattern, because also in those days, knitting in the round wasn't a big thing. Not for sweaters anyway. You knit flat, you knit the front, you knit the back, the sleeves, you sewed it all together. So Intarsia was quite a big thing. So this pattern here, you needed different colour balls. And you were supposed to twist them at the back. Oh, I didn't know that. So half of this sweater was knit, and I'm like, why am I getting big holes here? Had to go to my books and realised I was supposed to be twisting it at the back, so I did. So I after I finished this, I just sewed up those holes. But you know what? It was very precious to me. I wore it a lot. And that really got my juices going. I thought I can produce things here. So my 3 favourite designers from the 80s are Patricia Roberts, Sandy Black and Sasha Kagan. And I'm going to be flicking through 3 of their books right now. Just before I go, wait, I'm just going to let you know, keep watching, wait till the end, because I've also got a bit of a giveaway today in relation to this. I hope you have fun, guys. Let's take a look at those books. Let's just have a little bit of a run through here. So I'm going to flick through my book. This is Patricia Roberts, and I'm going to stop at the ones that I particularly like, my particular favourites, have a little talk about them. So this is a book from 1981, and the very first thing you come to is colour. Colour, 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 and it's an Intarsia pattern. So there were quite a lot of Intarsia patterns at the time. Knitting in the round wasn't such a big thing, so for sweaters anyway. So Intarsia was that you knit the back, you knit the front, you knit the sleeves. You had to join them all together by sewing in those days, but that meant you could get these funky designs. Not one of my favourites, but it's a great design. Now this I really do like. Hopefully you can see this. This is grapes and cherries formed with your bubbles. I do like that. It's such a fun product, and there's a mohair version as well here on the right, which is a cardigan, so that's lovely. I mean, I'd even make that now. I really do like that one. Oh, there's a better photo of the grapes and the cherries. Look at that. Yeah, I love that. And another Intarsia project here called Jigsaw. Now this, I've seen quite a lot of modern versions of pastoral scenes, I would say. Look at that, it's great. You've got your little corn, whatever, growing in the bottom. And your Intarsia here. Again, construction is front, back and sleeves. Colour, 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 isn't it? But here, they did do non-patterns as well. We do need non-patterns. If you've got a pattern bottom, you want a non-pattern top probably, don't you? But it's all about fun. Look at this. Fun, fun, fun. Hey. Right, graphics. Graphics were a really big thing. Again, they were Intarsia knit. These are the real 80s colours, just bright, bright yellow, bright red, bright blue. Basically, it was in your face in the 80s, in your face colour. Quite like that. Some lace. This is one of my absolute favourites, and that is the April showers. Now, I'd love to do this one, actually. I mean, I'd like to do them all, wouldn't I? Let me just have a look here. Yeah, that's it. Let's get the colour adjusted there for you so you see a little bit better. So April shower, look at this. Beautiful. Another bit of Intarsia. And bubbles. Bubbles were big, especially for Patricia Roberts. She really likes that. You did get some Fair Isle as well. This is another fun one with the bows. Big coat there. More coats with big bubbles. Again, just real good fun. Yeah, look at that. Fun, colour, colour. So you're getting the idea of the 80s, I think, now. You should be. Tarzan. Now, that'd be good for a child, I think. I don't think I'd wear that now, even then or now. But, it's a nice one, isn't it? It's good fun. So here's some more Fair Isle type things. So it wasn't all crazy. Look, there's some more, just harking back to your traditional Fair Isle there, which is wonderful. Another little bit there. Lovely, more subdued evening type wear, I would say. And another fun one. Now look at this. Scotty dogs and cats. It's raining cats and dogs, I reckon. That's what it gives to me. And again, bubbles everywhere. So yeah, love that. In your face again. Absolutely wonderful. Some monochrome. Not one of my favourites, that one. And you got a very fun licorice all sorts. Look at that. Again, you would have had separate balls of colour for the hair. You'd have your main one going back and forth, but then when you wanted to do this, you'd bring in a separate ball of colour and work there. Work each side of it with your main colour. That's how you did it in those days. But you've got a bit more variety in that way. Nice knitted dress there. Now, where is my... One of the ones I do like as well is this one, which is very similar to the grapes, but not quite. A little bit different, but again, worked with bubbles and holding small amounts of colour to work those bubbles. Okay, I'm just trying to get my favourite now. Well, my absolute favourite is what was on the front cover, Dolly Mixture. Love this. I can't remember what that's worked in. It has got a fluff Angora in it, this one. So some of it's quite so fluffy on the bobbles, and here is Angora. But again, you would knit your main red colour or pink or whatever, and then take a new colour and just make bubbles as you go along. I mean, I still want to do this. I didn't knit this one, but I actually really would like to do this. So you never know, you might well see it. And that is Patricia Roberts, one of my favourite designers. And I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so another one who I absolutely love is Sandy Black. This is original knitting. Unfortunately, I've lost my Duff's cover, but I've got the book, so I'm very pleased about that. I will put a picture of the dust cover in, which I have found online. So Sandy Black. This is a 1987, I believe. Look at that mohair. Now, we are going down the mohair road here because mohair was a very big thing as well in the 80s, and Sandy Black did like to use it. So let's just take our way to the first patterns here. Right, she starts with graphics. So as I said before when we were having a look at Patricia Roberts, there's a lot of graphics in the 80s. Not one that appealed to me, but you know, look at that. You're going out clubbing. That's pretty good, isn't it? Again, colour and Intarsia worked. And then we had lovely bubbles. See, I told you bubbles were big in the 80s. I like that one actually. That's a really nice evening, going out in the evening. And this is a mohair with contrast bubbles knitted in grid formation. Very nice. We've got a dog's tooth check jacket. As you can see, this is another mohair. Mohair, mohair, mohair. Obviously, you could have knitted it as well in a different, you know, she's got some here, look, different ways to work it. That's quite nice. That's quite a classic dog's tooth check. Quite nice there. There's the sweater version. We've got some tartan, they call textured tartan, going on here. So she's actually combined mohair and a cotton yarn in this one to get that production. You can look at, let me show you this. Can you see that? Oh, there you go. That's how you do the design. Now, how do you do this design? The two yarns are not used together, but are the alternating intricate looking pattern is based on slip stitches. So that was how you did it. Again, though, you've got your front, your back, and your sleeve. So there's a boxy version. That would be the boxy version, and then you could have a more fitted version. Boxy shapes were quite big in the 80s. So here we've got another beautiful evening wear cardigan, and you can knit it in mohair for like what she calls a very wearable everyday cardigan, or 100% Angora for evening wear. So a little bit of luxury there. Now, when I was knitting, there it is in mohair like that actually. I like that version better. I was quite young and I did not have funds for mohair or really good yarn, unfortunately. I was knitting in acrylic yarns. But here we have a fun, what she calls a fun Fair Isle sweater. So based on Fair Isle. Don't mind that one so much, but what I do prefer is this sleeveless version. Look at that. That's cool. I mean, that's good for today. And that actually would use up a lot of your scraps, wouldn't it? That'd actually be a very good scrappy project now. And it's like a diagonal pattern that you knit this. Not too sure how she does it. I haven't really, I can't remember now. But I think you just work it diagonals and then you join them up, which is quite cool. So yeah, love that. I think that could be worn today for sure, quite easily. Some more fun colour coming up. Triangle sweater. Again, this is a mohair one. So as I said, mohair, mohair, mohair. But it's just all good fun. Look at that. Lovely. Okay, and some fans there. Nice other mohair. Not bad. Look at my poor book. It's coming apart a little bit, but still got it. And that's the important thing. Matisse. I just put that one upside down. Well, we saw that in the beginning, didn't we? The graphic-y one. So there we go. That's that one. And then she's got some floral designs. That's very beautiful. A nice big coat, sort of a long coat. Gorgeous. Very nice. Big roses. So the background would have been knitted, I think, with stranded, and then you hold your smaller ball of red so that you can put your big roses in. And this is a batwing. Now, batwings were really a thing as well. I haven't quite come across them yet, but they were. Batwing was a big thing in the 80s in knitwear. Everybody had a batwing jumper. Very nice. And the batwing, you make it in one piece, start at the cuff, increase for arms for the batwing, go along, you cast off for a boat neck, and then you decrease back down to the other cuff. So that's just knitted in one piece, and then you just sew up those two seams. So it's quite a nice one. From floral, let's get on to, this is one of my favourites. It's really, really pretty. And that's not an in-your-face at all, really, is it? I suppose it depends what colour you use, but look at that lovely floral trellis. Trailing Roses sweater. Gorgeous. Easily wear that today. Easily. That is not dated at all. This is an Angora version of the Trailing Roses in a jacket. So I did love Sandy Black. She was a little bit more subdued in this book. But then we get on to, this is my favourite section, Heraldic. Now these I did actually knit. I did knit it. I'll show you the one I knit in a moment. It's not quite on this page, but look at that. So fleur-de-lis with some diamonds in the background. Actually, I did knit that. I knit it in a cream. I knit that one. And I love the shield as well on this one. Again, I think you could easily wear that today. Quite easily. So this is what I did knit, guys. Honestly, it didn't survive. It was all in acrylic. But I did knit this sweater with the lion, the unicorn, the phoenix, the coat of arms. Just a boxy sweater. There's no arm shaping. You literally knit a square. You literally knit a bit of a shape for the sleeve, but at the top was just square, and you just sewed it all together. It was quite easy. I liked it. But what I really did love was the ribbed cable rib. Look at that lovely cable rib. So yeah, what a shame that didn't survive, hey? Never mind. Got your lion, your unicorn. Oh, here's a few other versions. So yeah, beautiful. Really liked those. I like heraldic and heraldry to this day. There's your fleur. This is the one I knit as well, fleur-de-lis. Boxy design again, see it. At that time I wasn't too practiced, so boxes were quite good for me. It was easy to knit. Okay, and then we got an ornamental section. I love these coats. I love these coats. Stained glass, not so much. Let's get to the, here we go. So what's on the front cover? This is my favourite Sandy Black design, and it is a patchwork coat. Now I did knit this, the patchwork jacket. I knit that for somebody who commissioned me, and it came out lovely. It came out really nice, but they did want buttons, so I put buttons on for them. That one. So it's the same, well, it's not the same actually, it's a different design, but it's the same construction. You basically knit lots of triangles. Let me have so just before giving you the thing, you knit a lot of triangles and a half triangle, and you sew them all together, and then you put the gorgeous border around. Now, guys, I'm definitely going to make this. I always wanted to, and once I'd made that, I kind of just stopped for some reason, and unfortunately, I did make money on it. Obviously, I did do it as a commission, but I really wish I had it. But however, I have got mohair in my stash. This is a beautiful turquoise mohair, and I am thinking for this outside part to use this. I've also got a Rowan Kid Silk Haze vintage mohair. which I could use for the background. So I think I'm going to make this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to. Don't know when, but I will. Because it's a project you can just make a triangle at a time. So that's my fave, my absolute fave, sandy black. But oh, I do like this tunic as well. But this is also my second favourite. It is a beautiful tunic. Again with that floral pattern on. And here it is as a sweater. And what I really, really love is the diagonal rib. Let me see if I can hold this up a bit closer. The neckline there is a diagonal rib. Beautiful. Comes out nice. I did actually knit that diagonal rib, but just as a cowl. So yeah, that is Sandy. Gorgeous. Look, gorgeous Angora coat there. Oh, this is a nice one. Almost missed this one. Lovely one. It's called Rosette, and you just put these lovely little rosettes all over in a different formation. If you're seeing that, sorry. Let's get that to you. Look at that, gorgeous. Again, you can knit that in mohair or even regular yarn. So a little note on mohair. Mohair was big, but they didn't hold it with something else like you do now. You actually just knit the mohair. But because it's a fluffy nature, it does actually, I mean, I'm knitting this. This is something special that I'll be showing you in the future. On a 6mm needle. Sorry, I don't know the US size of that off the top of my head. But you can see how it will be see-through. You will be wearing obviously something underneath it, but the halo of it, it just joins together. That's quite beautiful. So that's something special I'll let you know about very soon. And that concludes Sandy Black. Hope you like that one. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, my next one of my favourites is Sasha Kagan. And this is the Sasha Kagan sweater book. What year was this? I don't remember actually. Let's have a look. This was a 1984. And again, she does put the contents into geometric, floral, what she calls ethnic and nursery. That's a lovely book, this one. Sasha at Work. And then there's a few of her designs there. Can we see that? Yeah, just about. Particularly like this one, but we'll have a look at that when we come through. Again, let's have a flick through. And I'm going to stop at my faves. So geometrics. Geometrics, graphics, sort of the same thing to me. Again, a 1980s design staple. And as you can see, she's putting them in with lovely colourways. Shall we get that in? There we go. Harriet. Paint box. What a fun vest. I mean, look at that, guys. You can stash bus with that, most definitely, couldn't you? I've got to remember that. Might have to do that. Stash busting, for sure. Desert ribbons, lovely. Optical copper. Look at that. And she's got a hat that goes with that one. That's pretty smart, isn't it? For autumn. That reminds me of the autumn. So I think that'd be nice for over a long sleeve tee in the autumn, wouldn't it, that one? Ribbon Ramble. Just some plain ones there, but they look nice, don't they? I think that is your bramble stitch with some ribbon, for sure. Very nice. Ribbons. Checkerboard. Now, here we go. Squares on black. Now, this is it. I love this. It's a peplum as well. Now, that peplums were very big in the 80s, even on suits and shirts, etc., and works its way into knitting. Again, it's like paint box. It's got the little colours on a black background. I think I like it on the black background. Really makes the colours pop up, doesn't it? Oh, I might have to do that one. I've just got so many I want to do. There's so little time. All right, so that was geometric. That's my favourite. Flowers. So again, floral was always around, always been around. Always will, I think. Got a nice wallflower one there. Ah, this is my favourite. This is my favourite floral. It's called Iris. And it's got a colour work, but then you've got your little mohair in the middle, haven't you? Oh, it's so nice. So, so nice. So yeah, that's actually it's the Shetland 2-ply jumper weight, which is equivalent to fingering weight. It's equivalent to 4-ply. I'm using that now myself, but you know, and then you've got this nice mohair bit in the middle bit. That's so good. So nice. Easily could wear that these days, couldn't you? It's not a nice marigold vest. Purple pansy. Roses. This is quite nice, the daisy one. And these colours, these grey and yellows, that's definitely something you could wear today, isn't it? Well, that's very nice. Did she do it with yeah, broken up with bands of mohair. So again, the mohair is breaking up. So it's got a lot of interest in that. And the back, I think she did a rib. Yeah, she did. That's the back. So the back is just a twisted rib, and then the front is patterned. So a bit like a proper waistcoat, you know, they can pull in at the, pulls in nicely to give you a good shape, that does. It's a great design. Another lovely one. Pretty pansies. Like that on the cream background. Very nice. Okay. That's the floral section. And now we have, what's this? Oh, sorry, the ethnic section. Oh, I love this list. Now, this is one I did knit. And again, I don't have any longer. It was a very long time ago, guys. But look at those cactus. How good is that? I love that. And it's just a nice vest, isn't it? What I would like, can you imagine the self-striping? I mean, you had to put your different colours in those days. But now you get beautiful self-striping. Can you imagine self-striping? And you just put your little cacti on the top of it. That is fun. Love it. Love it. Double Dutch. We've got our little Dutch emblems there. Navajo Indian pattern. Period. Fun. Sterling zigzag. Again, we've got a lovely peplum. Like that. Really like that. Subtle shades of Shetland yarn, she says, enhanced with specks of copper to make this peplum jacket ideal for winter evenings. Yeah, I think you're right. She's even got a little vest to go underneath it there. Look at that. This is a great book, isn't it? I mean, they're all great books, you know. How lovely. This is beautiful. It is, guys, the willow pattern on a vest. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? Now, I did knit a willow pattern in the 80s. It's not this one. I'm going to show it to you in a bit, though. I'm going to show you a little bit of something else that I did. But that's lovely. And again, it's got the ribbed back. So it's a plain ribbed back. And then you put your patterning, your colour work on the front. I think you would have to do a ladder back, or, you know, weave your strands in at the back, because it would be too far to carry over. So I think, yeah, ladder back for that one, I would suggest. Islamic patterning here. No, very nice. What she calls leaves. Mosaic. Okay, and now she's got some inspiration from the nursery. This will be fun. So here we go. Fun, fun. Oh, love it, love it, love it. I love this one. The Scotty dogs. Black Scotty dogs, white Scotty dogs, all over. I mean, oh, come on, that's gorgeous. I'd definitely wear that now, wouldn't you? Boys on blue. Well, yeah, naughty boys at school, I think. Okay. Not for me, but there we go. Little teddy bears. Not so much into the nursery ones. Seagulls. Hey, the blight of us. But nice. Want something nautical. And of course, the staring cats. Staring cats looking at you. I think that'd be quite popular today if she re-released it, as she should do. Okay, butterfly. Sorry, what have I just flicked by? Oh, the boys on black. So you get the boys again on black. Not so much into that one myself, but it's fun. Butterflies. Not so much into that one, but I do like the cable neckband and cable sleeve band, armband, sorry. And then we've got our little sausage dogs. Look, Dutch end. The Dachshund, I should say. Look at that. Beautiful. More cats. This time the prowling. So fun. Such good fun. And then we have got the beetles. So there's quite a lot of waistcoats, or she calls them waistcoats, or vest tops, etc. But yeah, they're properly wet waistcoats actually, aren't they? They're nice though, easy to knit. You don't have to worry about the sleeves, and then you can just put them over for a pop of fun. Rain girls in the rain, beautiful. More cats. This is cats on cotton. I'll show you what it looks like in a different yarn. That's pretty cool. And there's our winter Scotties. So we've got the Scotties now as a long sleeve sweater, a vest and a hat and some leg warmers. Now, leg warmers haven't come up yet, but very big in the 80s. I'm sure you know that. We had leg warmers everywhere. So that might be good fun to knit that one. Okay, and that is the end. Just goes over to measurements and yarns and some techniques, how to measure yourself. So this, an all round, another really beautiful book. So I hope you enjoyed a flick through of that one. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. I really enjoyed going through my books again, and I'm definitely inspired to knit some of those now. The ones I didn't get round to in the 80s or the 90s, I need to get round to now because they're still really beautiful. I really do think they're lovely. There's one more sweater design we should really have a quick look at. It's the most iconic sweater of the 1980s, and that is the black sheep sweater that Lady Diana, as she was then, wore and made extremely popular. So let's just have a quick look at that now. And this is now a free download on Ravelry. I'm going to leave the link to that in the description below, so do check it out if you are interested. Quite a lot of colour work in there. I'm thinking that might need to be a ladder back design, that one. I've not really looked too closely at it, but maybe one day, maybe it's on the bucket list, hey? We need to knit that. So yeah, it is a free download. They do ask you to make a small donation to Sans Frontier. So it would be nice if you could do that. I did. I have downloaded it and it is in my library, and I did make a small donation because the designer is giving this away for free, which I think is wonderful. So yeah, check that out. So anyway, just before I leave you, I said about a giveaway at the beginning, and I happen to have a spare copy of the Sasha Kagan sweater book. This is a second hand, it's pre-owned, but it's in excellent condition. A friend picked it up for me, not knowing that I already had it. So if you were inspired by that, you can win this. All you need to do is leave me a comment in the comments here to say, yes, please, for Sasha Kagan. So leave me a comment and I will enter you into the draw. I will be drawing on the 30th of June 2025 and letting you know in the next video that I make after that date. So I would really appreciate a nice thumbs up as well if you like the video. But after that, hope you enjoyed the 1980s. Hope you enjoyed the trip back to the 1980s, should I say. I certainly have. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time.